What's going on, everybody? Today I'm ranking every Naked Gun movie from worst to best, based on my personal experience and thoughts. This franchise is an absolute comedy legend, thanks to Leslie Nielsen's deadpan humor, absurd slapstick, and perfectly timed gags that have made millions laugh over the years. The blend of visual comedy, clever wordplay, and ridiculous situations is what made the original films so iconic and beloved. But not every film in the series hit the mark equally, so I wanted to take a closer look and break down how each one stacks up, from the biggest disappointments to the very best entries. Starting off at the bottom of my list is pretty easily The Naked Gun 2025. This movie was a huge letdown and, in my opinion, wildly overrated. It was hyped by a lot of people as the funniest movie of the year, but for me, it just didn't deliver. The jokes were few and far between, and most of the best ones were already leaked in the trailers, so there weren't many surprises. The acting felt way too over the top and lacked the subtle charm and perfect comedic timing that Leslie Nielsen brought to Frank Drebin in the originals. The villain was completely forgettable, and the story dragged through the final act, which was pretty lame and uninspired. The overall tone felt forced, and it seemed like the film was more interested in cashing in on the Naked Gun name than honoring what made the franchise great. It felt like a classic case of hype overshadowing substance, much like what happened with The Flash in 2023. I even suspect that some of the glowing reviews were influenced by marketing, because the audience reaction in the theater was pretty dead. It's really disappointing, because this franchise deserves so much better. Next up is The Naked Gun 2.5: The Smell of Fear, which is a massive improvement and easily one of the best comedy sequels out there. This film really knows how to double down on the absurd humor and non-stop gags that define the franchise. Leslie Nielsen is back in top form, delivering his iconic deadpan lines with flawless timing. The supporting cast also shines here, and the villain is surprisingly memorable, bringing a fun and cartoonish energy that fits perfectly. The plot, while obviously silly, is solid enough to keep the jokes grounded, and the film never feels like it's just a collection of random skits. Everything flows nicely. The opening sequence is fantastic, filled with rapid-fire jokes that set a lively tone from the start. It's energetic and keeps the laughs coming all the way through. While it might not reach the legendary heights of the first film, it's an awesome follow-up that fans of the series will really appreciate and enjoy watching again and again. Coming in second place is The Naked Gun 33 1/3: The Final Insult, which I honestly think is seriously underrated and doesn't get nearly the credit it deserves. This movie goes all out with the wild, goofy, and irreverent humor that made the series so popular, cranking the chaos up to 11. The story juggles multiple outrageous plotlines, including a prison riot, an escaped gang of convicts, the Oscars ceremony, and even a baby subplot, and somehow manages to tie them all up in a hilarious and high-energy climax. Leslie Nielsen's deadpan delivery is as sharp and perfect as ever, and the new characters introduced bring a fresh energy and charm that mix well with the original cast. While some scenes drag a bit and the pacing isn't perfect, the non-stop laughs, physical comedy, and sheer silliness make it a worthy and highly entertaining conclusion to the trilogy. It's a hidden gem that deserves to be revisited by fans and appreciated for what it brings to the table. Finally, at the top of the list is the original Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. This film is an absolute comedy classic and the gold standard for slapstick and spoof movies. Leslie Nielsen's performance here is iconic. His ability to deliver ridiculous lines with perfect deadpan timing makes Frank Drebin one of the most memorable comedic characters of all time. The writing is sharp, absurd, and perfectly paced, filled with visual gags, clever wordplay, and physical comedy that have stood the test of time. The film never lets up, delivering non-stop laughs from the very first scene to the final moments. It's the reason the franchise became so beloved and why it remains a favorite for comedy fans around the world. Nothing else in the series quite matches its flawless blend of wit, charm, and silliness, making it the undisputed high point of the Naked Gun saga. And that's my ranking of the Naked Gun franchise. Whether you're a fan of the classic original or you appreciate the underrated sequels, this series has given us some of the funniest and most memorable moments in comedy history. I want to know what you think. What is your favorite Naked Gun movie? You agree with my rankings or have a different order? Drop your thoughts and picks in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.